Finding simplicity is brutally difficult, which is exactly why most entrepreneurs never do it, and why ones who master it dominate their markets. Simple isn't easy, but complicated is expensive. The question you need to ask yourself right now is, are you building a business or are you building a monument to your overthinking? You've convinced yourself that more features, more steps, or more options equal more value, but your customers are confused and you're exhausted. Apple became a $1 trillion company by obsessively asking the question, how can we make it simple? Studies show that businesses that prioritize simplicity see 60% higher customer satisfaction and faster decision-making speeds. Your complexity isn't protecting you, it's preventing you from scale. If you continue masking complexity for competence, you'll build something so complicated that only you can run it, making yourself the bottleneck and your business unsellable. Every layer of complexity is a tax on your time, your team's clarity, and your customers' patience. Or you can strip everything down to what actually matters, ruthlessly eliminating 80%, that 20% delivers the results, that builds something elegant enough to scale and simple enough to dominate. Simplicity is hard. It takes more work. It's more art. In fact, there was a running joke that when Steve Jobs got the plane, he was on another person's plane, the head of Oracle, and he was showing that they had a button that opens this door and a button that does this and a button that does that. Steve Jobs went back and he ordered a plane and the door had just one button. Now, that's kind of funny and humorous, and if you know the way iPhones were created, iPhones usually just had one button to do it all. Coming from a set of phones that had multiple buttons or an entire keyboard. Yes, I still do miss my BlackBerry keyboard. An entire keyboard on that, to creating simplicity. One of the companies I was working for was a global computer company, and we were delivering systems that worked really, really well. But it was still in the old green text-based system. Why? Because those people that knew it well could type faster than anything else, but everyone wanted the clean, beautiful, Windows-style, Mac-style system. So we built one of those. It slowed the system down by 30%, just because of the graphical interface, and people could not type in as quickly. It wasn't as pretty, it wasn't as elegant, until we started paring back the systems and set up a menu system that only had to do with exactly what the individuals wanted to do. We had coders who could come up with amazing ideas and implement them almost immediately. And if you've ever dealt with a royalty system, everyone has a different contract and a different way of doing it and a different widget. And it was so amazingly complex that most people couldn't understand it, much less run it, until we went to one of the largest publishers in the world, went in to do a scope exercise on what the royalty system was. And these four little old ladies ran the entire royalty system, and they ran it on 3x5 cards. Their big decision at tea every Christmas was what 3x5 stock they were going to use and how many they needed. It was a flawless system that worked perfectly for them, and it was practically impossible to move on to digital because it was so flexible. A pencil and a 3x5 card flummoxed one of the largest computer companies in the world in publishing because it was not nearly as user-friendly. And the simplicity of that card, the simplicity of one button, the simplicity of giving the clients exactly what they need in a format that they can use. There is a reason why Staples has the "That's Easy" button, because it's simple and it's just one button. The idea that you may not be able to change absolutely everything and tweak everything, but in all reality, all of the people that complain that they want access to absolutely everything in their phones, how many times do they actually do it? How many times do you change your screensaver or your background? If you do it a lot, great, but I would submit to you that 90-95% of the people who are like, oh, I want absolute access, aren't using it or don't use it regularly. But they do want turn on time and similar systems to work. So simplicity is not as easy as it sounds. It's much easier to put lots of buttons on it than have a really clean, beautiful interface that has few buttons on it. Or a really clean, beautiful interface that requires you not to think very much, but is a flow of that process. Now, one would argue maybe AI is going to be able to take over that, but even that interaction, that ability to touch the human part of this is something that could become very, very important. And therefore, creating more features and complexity is not usually the way we sell better things. You shouldn't sell it on your features anyways. You should sell it on the solutions, and those solutions are probably 20% of what they need. So give them that and let them explore the rest of it. Most people who we gave the royalty system to got so confused that the complexity actually halted their ability. And instead what we did is we shaved it down, made simplicity, and therefore they could understand it and interact with it much more efficiently. The simplicity makes the difference. If you look at the difference, someone who is buying an iPhone right now is looking for that simplicity. And that's me. I'm buying the iPhone because it works with every one of my systems. I don't have to think about it. It's a completely closed infrastructure, which means, yes, will I be able to tweak the curvature on the buttons as we go? No. Will I worry about that? Absolutely not. But does it work with my computer and my home and my phone? Yeah, it does. And that's worth something to me. The simplicity and me not having to think about it and make those decisions allows me to be more creative and more interested in various things. So instead of creating greater amounts of complexity, see how you can create greater amounts of simplicity. See how you can create greater amounts of ease in the process, opposed to really working at how you make more stuff. Make it cleaner, make it more easy to use, make it mindless to work with, and people will gravitate to it more. This is completely me. The interface and how my life works is very important to me. I don't want to be making lots of decisions because the decisions I have to make have greater importance. So am I willing to pay more money, an iPhone, than an Android so I don't have to think and the complexity is not as bad? Yeah, all the time. And you can have a premium for simplicity, for high quality, for the thought, because it's clear that there's been thought put into it. And the more thought that's been put into it, the clearer it is that it works better, and therefore it gives you less things to decide and allows you to focus on what this thing actually does opposed to operating it. The cleaner it is, the better you go. The more elegant it is, the more you can charge. Just take a look. There are thousands of phones that work better than iPhones, but look at the market's share of iPhones because of how it works and the simplicity thereof. Give me another example you know of something that was very simple, that really was advantageous to you, that worked really well. Leave in the comments below. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.